up, gangstas? So right now the full moon is in Virgo. It is a blood moon, so that's going to be pretty interesting. There's just a whole like thunder, lightning, hailstorm that just happened, so that was pretty interesting. So anyway, let's see what your current energy is and see what you need to hear right now. All right, got a lot kind of going on here. Some challenges I'm seeing. We've got Arcturians, right? Arcturians are all about like self-preservation, right? Trying to protect themselves. That's why he's like in this bubble. He's closed, but he's still got this guard up, right? Still kind of like protecting his energy, feeling like a little like this need to, which is a little defensive. Then we have the flower of life, inspiration, awe, and dreams, right? And perhaps that's what you're protecting, is this vision, is this thing that you're kind of striving for, right? The flower of life kind of talks on how the different fractals of our existence, the different experiences, the different pieces are actually what kind of bring the whole thing together as the flower of life, right? We have Ouroboros, right? This is infinity, eternal, past life, right? And so Ouroboros is like Ragnarok, right? It's that snake eating itself. And within here, because that represents like kind of like chaos or destruction, right? Self-destruction around you, right? Perhaps, but it's this person is like gestating in there. They're like they've got their umbilical cord. I think that's a proper word for this. But yeah, they've got their umbilical cord. They're all like kind of linked up to this, and it's kind of like representing this like growth through the challenges, through the chaos, through the things that really push us to work on ourselves, right? And without these challenges we would not evolve, right? Every creature that has ever been forced to evolve, it's usually through like some sort of challenge, right? Obstacles, climate changes, environmental shifts, those kinds of things. So there's like an evolution of self that's happening with you at this time, like through these challenges, through this like self-awareness, through this self-guardedness as well. We have Alpha Draconians, right? This is about corruption, cults, unethical behaviors, and things like that. That could also be kind of a focus here. But what I see more than anything in this picture is like somebody, like he's reptilian, right? His intentions are not good, but he's dressed up like a pope, right? And it's almost like there's a facade. You could be dealing with somebody who's like who has a facade, or perhaps like somebody who cares deeply about their image without really doing the shadow work inside to really fix that. So let's see. And shadow work is like an ever ongoing thing. It's not like it just stops. Your shadow continues to exist forever. So you continue to evolve it, to work with it, to to mature it. And yeah, I feel like right now there's quite a bit of that, right? Some challenges that are kind of forcing you to grow in new directions, or it kind of reminds me of that song. I forget who sings it, but it's like that I think it's called Bang. I get up, I get down, and oh, what is it called? Or what is the band called? It's like, but basically, the message in the song is like, it's time to grow, right? And, like feeling out of place in a world that you're kind of outgrowing. So, let's see. Interesting energy, bro. So we've got the Princess of Swords, right? This is either you or this is like a focal point, somebody that you're dealing with. Princess of Swords is very sharp, right? She is the Princess of Air, right? And when we think in terms of air, we're thinking Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, right? And so this, is somebody who's like very quick to cut people off, right? She's got her sword right there. She's very abrasive too in her manner. Like, she's not gonna sit there and quietly take shit. This could also be somebody who is like brutally honest, or like somebody who like is very forthright. I think that's a better way of putting it. Very forthright person. We have the Sun in reverse. There's no reverse meaning of the Sun card. It's the Leo card, right? And this card is all about like illumination, abundance, getting over that wall and into your prosperous, like into prosperity, right? It's not easy, right? And it did come out in reverse. And though there is no reverse meaning, what did come out after was the Moon card, right? And what's, like day and night, kind of understanding the flip-flop of like, when the sun isn't lighting up our sky, the moon is. And so, this could really talk on the night itself, because that imagery is kind of really coming through with the Princess of Swords and the Moon card. But what I'm seeing more than anything is illumination, something coming to light. All right, something being brought up, something being exposed, and that's not necessarily like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, right? It's just somebody is like perhaps speaking their truth with the Princess of Swords, right? Swords also represents like honest communication. So somebody could be speaking their truth, right? Or shedding light on a situation, whether that's you or somebody you're dealing with. But yeah, somebody is definitely doing that. Let's see what this is about, dog. Somebody might want to speak their mind on a matter. Oof. Brother. Okie dokie. So, I was sitting here with the Nine of Cups in reverse. Is like something didn't turn out the way that they had hoped, right? And I feel like this is you, honestly. I feel like this is you feeling like something didn't turn out the way that you would hope. And the reason why is because this feminine energy keeps popping up. And it doesn't mean shit about your gender, right? It's kind of this energy of like tapping into the divine feminine, right? So whether you're male, female, whatever, there is like a connection to that, right? We all have it. So, but there's something here about that, right? With the Nine of Cups in reverse, it's like it's disappointment, right? With the Five of Wands, this could be like arguments, competitiveness, like feeling at odds with somebody, right? Five of Wands is kind of like that challenging energy, right? So you could be feeling at odds with somebody at this time. With the Queen of Cups, though, it's like what's interesting about this energy is that you're coming from a place of deep feelings, right? Because Queen of Cups is the Queen of Water, and water in tarot is all about emotions and deep feelings. And so what I feel about this is like, if you are in some kind of conflict, this is not what you wanted, right? This is not how you wanted it to go. It looks like you have a lot of love and care for whomever you're in this conflict with. It's not working. Maybe this one will. Whatever. So yeah, back to the subject here. There's like a lot of feelings, and this is kind of, I see an energy of maturing here, right? Going back to that Ouroboros, going from the princess to the queen, right? Princess of Swords to the Queen of Cups is like going from being very like hard and rigid and like to being more like soft and inviting. And like I said, this could be somebody you're dealing with. I'm just reading it as I see it, and it feels like I'm reading you. So yeah, there's well, what do you want? Like, out of this resolution of this conflict, what would you like to see happen here, right? Because it doesn't necessarily mean, like, has to be romantic. It can be, but, it hasn't really said much on that yet, so... Somebody is really in their head about this. Perhaps this is what this communication, this something coming to light is about. Like, perhaps it's somebody wanting to come in and clear the air, talk things out, right? With the Seven of Pentacles here, I do see, like, reaping what you sow, right? And that can sound so like negative, but it's not, right? It's like you plant seeds, you sow the seeds, right? You expect the harvest, right? And so I don't see it as a negative thing. I see that if you plant seeds of love and caring and understanding, that it's gonna really help, right? Then you'll receive more of that back, right? What you put out into the world is what you receive. So if you put out the energy of abundance and understanding and openness, then you are going to be met with that same energy, right? Nine of Wands. Somebody is like feeling very like guarded, right? Going back to the Arcturians energy. Somebody doesn't want to get hurt. They've been hurt before. And so I see a lot of self-preservation in that. And perhaps that's why there's some holding back on either your part or their part, or both parts, right? Yeah, we have Seven of Cups. Perhaps this person has like options, right? Or you feel that they have options. like romantic options, right? Here's where the romantic side of things are coming in. I wasn't gonna bring it up until I saw it, but you know, Seven of Cups is like, you know, and you may have options, right? They might be perceiving you as a person with a lot of options. Um, and we have the Magus, right? The Magician. And this is all about being resourceful and manifesting. And I see that somebody is definitely manifesting what they desire here, right? And what they desire may not be all of their other options, right? If this is you thinking that, right? Or vice versa, right? If you're the one in a state of manifestation, right? You may not be looking at all your romantic options like options, right? Instead, you kind of look at them like, yeah, it's there, but it's not really an option, right? It's not really something that I want to pursue or something that interests me in that way or whatever. So, okie dokie. Somebody may also feel like they have to compete for your attention or feel like, and I'm only saying that because I'm seeing like the Seven of Cups with the Five of Wands, you know, and that brings me back to that competitive energy or like, or, you know, say you guys got in an argument and then you're like, well, they have all these other options. I'm sure like I don't matter or whatever, but you might be mistaken or they might be mistaken. You know, roles could be reversed. Because I'm, yeah, I'm seeing that you're manifesting what you actually want. And then we have the Fool in reverse, I should say. The Fool in reverse. So this is Aries energy, right? And this is kind of not wanting to be impulsive, not wanting to make a bad call, wanting to be very decisive, right? Wanting to feel very secure in whatever decisions you make or conversations you have, right? It's like you want certainty. We have the Ace of Wands, right? Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. And this is kind of going right with the Magician, right? We've got 1177. Which really tells me that something is beginning, right? And sevens are all about like when you take a look at your different options or you go in a new direction, right? Because I do a lot of numerology as well, so yeah, seven is about like a change in direction or an observation of options here, right? And then one is all about obviously new beginnings, taking a leap of faith, going in a new direction. So they really go hand in hand, having double sevens, double ones. We have the trump card adjustments, right? Adjustments do need to be made. And it looks like it's in the communication, you know, going back to the moon and the sun, something coming to light, something needed to be discussed. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse, though. 111. Why is the Ace of Cups in reverse? There could be some insecurities on somebody's part here. Right, going back to that Seven of Cups, like somebody could be feeling a little insecure, feeling like they struggle to like give love to themselves, or to feel confident in some kind of way. And this is part of their growth, right? And I don't really feel like that's you, because you're showing up as a Queen of Cups. So I feel like this is somebody that you're dealing with, right? Or vice versa, right? But yeah, somebody's kind of like, what the hell do I do? So what should you do? I feel like we've already talked about it. Openness, vulnerability is pretty dope and underrated in my opinion. So Six of Cups in reverse. Not like before. Not like the past, right? Six of Cups is very nostalgic, right? It's like something that brings you back to your childhood, or something from your childhood. It's like whatever you're experiencing now is not like before. And so when you're treading in new waters, you have to swim different, right? It's like swimming in the ocean is quite a bit different from like swimming in a lake. You know, you've got currents, you've got all kinds of shit, waves coming at you. You've got to swim different in different waters. And so I feel that that's part of this. Like, if this is like an entering into like a new relationship, or like a kind of flirting with the idea of that, then it looks like this is uncharted territory for you, right? You've never dealt with anybody like this, and you've never, it's kind of like somebody. How do I put this? It's like, how could you ever want something that you didn't even know existed, right? And that's kind of like, now that you know it exists, now you want it, but it's scary. It's uncharted territory, and perhaps that's why the Ace of Cups is in reverse, because it leaves you feeling a little like, what the fuck do I do? Things are not playing out the way that I had thought, or, going back to that Nine of Cups in reverse. Or they don't respond in ways that I anticipated them to respond, or there's there's a lot to it. I'm gonna see if there's anything else I should pull before I do the Kali card. Nope. So let's see what Kali has to say about all this. Bhuvaneshwari. She is the rising sun, marking the ending of darkness and the replenishment of life force after illness or devastation. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. going back to that sun and moon energy, right? The sun and the darkness. Kali Yantra. You have more power to evoke a positive shift in your circumstances than you realize. If anything required for success is lacking, the Divine Mother shall provide it. You are crossing a crucial spiritual threshold. Stay focused, let distractions fall away, and continue to commit yourself to what matters most to your heart. A more beautiful experience awaits you. Going back to that sun card, right? A more beautiful experience. And you see the twins dancing under the sun, you know, like, and so if you're dealing with a twin flame situation, this would make sense, right? I don't talk about twin flames often anymore. I did for a while and then I stopped. But when it does come up, when I do feel that pull to discuss it, it is something to be discussed, right? I think New World All-Star, yeah, he has a whole channel on like twin flame connections and how it kind of works. So if you're unfamiliar, I'll give you kind of a crash course. So your soul, being energy, is not confined to space and time in the same way that your material body is, right? It's not confined to the third dimension. Therefore, it can, or the fourth, so it can incarnate more than once in a single life, right? And that's where the theory of twin flame kind of comes from, is that it is yourself incarnated more than once during the same life cycle, right? This person oftentimes will represent an equal opposite, right? They're like, oh, like the sun and the moon, right? Like the equal opposites, you know, like the yin and the yang, you know, I mean, throughout all time and space of human existence, there's been markings on walls and tablets about this kind of light and dark, and you know, so yeah, basically a twin flame connection is kind of difficult because they don't really respond so much to the love that you're pouring into them as they do the love and attention you're pouring into yourself. And so because they are yourself, if that makes sense. And so you yourself are more attracted to that self-love, I guess, is the best way to kind of word it, right? And I'm just saying, like, if you are on like a twin flame kind of journey, this is kind of, you know, the imagery that's coming out. You know, we've got the sun, the moon, the twins under the sun, and the Queen of Cups, you know, very in touch as a divine feminine, right? Also, your twin flame triggers the fuck out of you. That's part of it. They trigger the unhealed parts of yourself so that you know what to work on. And it's not in like an abusive manner, right? It's in a correcting manner. Although, you know, there's the separation, the push and the pull, runner chaser kind of dynamic that happens. And if you're chasing somebody, that means they're running away from you. So it's just stop, right? It's kind of like those Chinese finger traps, you know, or like the more like you chase is really it's kind of like when you're pulling apart and you're like, or the more you chase, the more you're like kind of loosening up the bond and making it harder for them to connect with you. And then when you just kind of like relax and, you know, try to separate, or you know, you start going in the opposite direction, and it like pulls the cord tighter, right? It pulls the trap tighter, so that the pull is still there. The interconnectedness doesn't go away, right? As the same way that your ego doesn't ever die. And so, yeah, it's pretty rough, right? I personally haven't, you know, I've had my share of what I thought was, but then I learned it was very karmic, you know. It's the difference with twin flames is that they feel you, right? They feel your thoughts, they feel your energy, they feel you, all right? There's an inner knowing between the two because you are one and the same, even if you represent polar opposites in the material world, right? Where one may appear to be the moon and one may appear to be the sun, or one may appear to be the darkness and one may appear to be the light, and you know, one might be extroverted, one might be introverted, you know, the kind of different dynamics here, but it's really showing they're an outward projection of your internal world. So that's what triggers you about them, right? If you are going through that, right? And I do see with that Five of Wands, like this kind of conflict, feeling at odds, feeling triggered, going through that. So I don't know. New World All-Star, though, he's got a great channel where he goes way more in depth on it than I do. Definitely, like, you know, check that out. I've heard a lot of other people talk on the subject of twin flames, even Aristotle. He said that his theory was humans were originally born with 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 legs. And that they were separated. And so, like, they were separated from 1 into 2, right, beings, and that their punishment is basically that they spend their entire lives seeking out the other half of themselves, right? Which is cool in theory, but it's a romantic idea, I guess. But I also don't feel that you need another person to be completely you, right? To complete you, you know? It's like, I think 2 complete people can still finish the puzzle, right? You know, it's like 2 puzzle pieces aren't necessarily like they're still one whole puzzle piece, right? And then they just are interconnected, right? So I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's a lot to explain, but yeah, so interesting that this is kind of coming up today, but you know, full moon vibes, bro. I wish you luck on your journeys, and I hope you get it all figured out. Namaste, I love you all, and I will see you on the next one.